Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Baldur's Gate 3. Now, last time we left off here in the middle of the Druid's Grove, and I could have just uploaded one of the multiplayer episodes tonight and then gone back to bed, but hey, I am enjoying this game and I'd like to continue playing.
What path lies before me?
I suspect we're not that far away from leveling. Hello there, little podder.
Hold out your hand, lady. Let me show you something. Go on. Take this ring. It's lucky.
Is it just? What kind of luck?
Call it. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads it is. See? That's the kind of luck you get from one of my lucky rings. I've got more where that came from. Real cheap too. Interested?
See, he actually tossed a coin properly there. He caught it in his palm and didn't turn it over immediately as soon as it landed and stick it on the back of his other hand, like stupid people do to cheat, even cheating themselves out of a potential win, by immediately reversing the actual result. That's cheating and stupid and pisses me off. Right, now hold on, you know, just tossing a coin once doesn't prove that much.
Okay, fair. Let's go again. Heads or tails? Call it.
Is this a double-headed coin?
We have heads! There. Happy?
Here. Take your ring back. Let's see what you got there in that little makeshift pile behind you then.
You got it. One sec. That's what I got.
Okay, let's see this. So, Ring of Infinite Wishes. The exterior of this ring is roughly carved with nonsensical runes. Ring of Resistance to Ants. A glob of tree sap studded with dead ants occupies the space where this ring's stone once sat. In other words, Jurassic Park. Ring of Lekinesus. Lekinesus? Not a term I'm familiar with. A small pebble swings from a length of fishing line tied to this copper ring. I mean, I presume it's telekinesis, but lekinesis? No. No, doesn't make sense. Ring of being really invisible. This ring is missing its gem, or perhaps it's just very invisible. Right. Vials of dye. We could have some fun with these. Ooh. Spicy shrimp soup. Looks a bit... bottle of ink, a chicken. Disturbing looking chicken. Does it have a red glowing eye? A baguette for people who can't have normal bread. Some milk. I see a nice big bunch of grapes. That's a huge bunch of grapes. Grab an apple, potato. Hey, I wonder if we can make chips like in the other games they made. Clamshell, I don't suppose we can eat that. Sure, that'll do for now. Let's settle up. Refused? Why? I settled up. Party gold over 62. Right, look. You. Oh, for goodness sake.
Nothing caught.
You suddenly feel something moving against your back and turn.
Looks like he's about to shit himself. Her? Apparently. Hang on. This isn't the same one who stole the medallion earlier, is it? I think this is a different child. The other one was a boy.
You notice she's trembling. The tears streaming down her cheeks are indeed real.
Relax. I won't get angry. You didn't even manage to get anything from me.
I can't do this anymore, Mattis. I'm sorry.
Right, now look. Now we've got the money situation sorted out.
Hey, you here to trade or?
Your friend's a thief.
Yeah, I know. I was standing right here telling her to rob you.
I don't want her to apologise. I think she's scared and upset enough as it is. I could ask for a cut of what he steals from people. You could at least pretend to be sorry.
I am sorry. Sorry we're still talking about this. Look, you caught her. Good for you. You aren't a chump like everyone else around here. Now, do me a favour. Make room for the chumps.
You're a twat. And be grateful I stopped at that word. I was going to go for something more extreme.
Please, let us through.
It is forbidden.
Let my daughter go right now.
She's a thief, hellspawn. And you will wait for Korga's judgment. Now get back!
Oh, let me through, Mragrasham, or I'll rip your damn throat out.
That can't be good. He must have been really losing his temper to transform like that.
Do all the damn rituals
You know what?
We could have taken those guards. We could help each other. Fight the goblins together. Instead, these fools are trying to chase us away. So well last time.
Those dirt kissers would let us die for the sake of their bloody grove.
Is there something we can learn from these people before approaching
Lives
the
are at
druids?
stake, and the cowards only care about their bloody rituals.
Listen, lady, this is a sacred space, and that should be respected.
Yeah. Yes, I see.
We need to get Arabella out, now.
You heard the guards. They're waiting on Korga to give word.
I'd sooner trek through the 9 hells than trust that snake. Ugh.
I saw what happened. Why are the druids holding your daughter?
Arabella tried to steal their idol. Druids lost their damn minds about it. They need it for their precious ritual.
Oh, it's all my fault. I told her I wished the wretched thing would just disappear, or better yet, explode.
Now Arabella's being judged by a bunch of druids who hate us. That's not right.
This grove is like a cauldron about to boil over. I say we check in on the child. Make sure she comes to no harm.
Interesting my mouse is over this option, so She's just a child. The druids are overreacting. Well, they aren't necessarily overreacting, but they are ignoring the innocence of the child. Well, innocence rather than ignorance, or maybe a bit of both. Perhaps she's not familiar with their customs. You got your work cut out for you. And in fact, perhaps she should not be. Maybe they should be secret customs after all. Thieves deserve to be punished. It's as simple as that. Thieves do deserve to be punished, but the punishment should be proportionate to the crime. Like you said, it's your fault. You should have tried being better parents. Got your work cut out for you. I don't need to make it harder for them. Look, you know, maybe the druids are I'll see what I can find out. Maybe I can talk to them, alright?
Thank you. They won't give us the time of day.
Hurry! I'm at the end of my tether as is. Can't take this waiting.
And you'll have blood in your
Now,
She
hands.
must be terrified.
from what I remember, trying to save
I
Arabella
bet she's
in
giving
early
them
access
hell.
was
She's
incredibly
not our
difficult.
kid for nothing.
And it was very easy to cock it up. I don't know if it's been made easier now or if it's just going to be equally difficult. It would have been really helpful if I'd kept that point of inspiration and not blown it earlier, trying to de-escalate the situation at the gate earlier. But hey, what's done is done. Look, can we go past, please?
Calm, Magrin. Give her a chance.
You, get back!
If it weren't for me, it'd be over on my goblins now. This is pushy, right? I'll go where I please. Why? What's so special down here? As if I don't know already. Look, I'm not looking for trouble. Can you just let me go by?
No, and you'll find trouble all the same unless you get out of my sight.
A moment, Giona.
What? Oh, I understand. You. Apparently Korga wants to see you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Gotta say, I swear this examine window used to take up more of the screen, but Giona's a reasonably attractive woman. I think her hair colour doesn't quite match her skin tone very well, and her attitude doesn't do her many favours. But let's head down here and see what we can find.
Try greasing palms. These things over.
That's a lot of magical energy flowing
I do
around.
wish I could understand you.
Seems to be rising up from fissures deeper than the earth. Let's see if we can find a way to gain that level before venturing in. I don't believe we can. We could visit this fellow here.
Ah, my good friend. You were at the gates just now, no? When the goblins came? You saw them up close? A few questions, if you please. There's no overstating my interest.
Now this is Volo, a famous character in Forgotten Realms. Apparently there's actually 4 different Volos, but let's get back to the basic simple fact that originally he used to write a series of guides to the world and publish them. Things that he had experienced on his travels, highly unlikely and improbable things. And he is blatantly inspired by Marco Polo, who travelled around the world in the medieval period, writing travel journals and publishing them, stating some extremely outrageous claims, and you know, such as when he was in one part of Africa, he met people with no heads who had faces on their chests, people with dogs' heads, things like that, right? Was it medieval period or late medieval? Well, late medieval or Renaissance period. I think slightly pre-Renaissance though. And on his deathbed, famously, his last words were, "Everything I said, it was all true. You can make of that what you will. But Volo in the Forgotten Realms writes a lot of travel journals of, you know, meeting various creatures and species and races and places. And those would often be published every month in Dragon magazine for people. Here, I'm not sure what he's doing here, and since there are apparently more than one version of Volo, which would make sense given how old he'd have to be by now, I wonder what this one's doing. Very well, ask your questions.
Glory. Now then, how would you describe that particular batch of goblins? Size, nature, distinguishing qualities?
You search your mind, but remember nothing useful about goblin social order or behavior.
Yep, not a dwarf or gnome, so I probably wouldn't know. Well, they were kind of goblin-sized. Same as all others, really, you know, kind of short, small, disgusting, revolting.
Goblins struck fear and awe in heart of wilting witness.
That's not exactly what I said.
This man has no respect for truth.
And the dragon they had marching in the rear, was it of the brass or silver variety?
What dragon? Hey, there wasn't any dragon.
Witnesses failed to notice the obvious dragon. Last question, then you'll be quite free. Did the attackers rally to the absolute when they fell upon the gates?
Tricky. Way back in early access, I think they actually used to cry for the absolute before attacking. And then the leader would get into his "Raiders, charge the bastards" line. This time, I don't remember that battle cry. So I don't think so. Look, I was just busy trying not to get killed.
Really? Well, this does complicate things. But then again, well, never mind. I've interrogated one, a captive in this very camp. She reports they've abandoned their god Maglabiet in favor of someone called the Absolute. The scandal!
Whoa, 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 whoa. What scandal? The scandal here is that you're mispronouncing Maglubiet. What's Maglubiet? Oh, well, it's Maglubiet was the goblin god in... Wasn't Deities and Demigods, was it? I think it was... was it Fiend Folio? It might have been Fiend Folio, actually. It wasn't Monster Manual 2. Or was it? No, I think it was one of the second edition books. What do you think Maglubiet makes of this change? She can't be happy, right?
Oh, I'd imagine him quite displeased. Since their change in allegiance, these goblins are informed by a kind of strategy anathema to their kind. I, for one, intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm just preparing to head to their camp as we speak, in fact. If you'll excuse me, I ought not to door roll.
Wait, is that wise? Be careful, you know, goblins aren't known for being merciful.
Oh, never you mind. Who needs mercy when you've a quick tongue, And an invisibility potion stashed in your back pocket?
Until we meet again.
Wait, just one potion? You know those things don't last very long, right? Now, we can go down
drama amongst these adventurers. What have you heard?
by the look of it, but why would we? What lies down here? There's a bear and some beach. I don't think we need to go down there. Just bear might be trying to catch fishes. Now I want to. I know I can just walk around here, but I'd like to stay out of the lights for now. So we got some stairs leading up and some kind of... That's probably the statue right there. The one that went missing and has now been restored to its right. Inware uses Rite of Thorns on Idol of Sylvanus. So they've literally started the ritual already. Or are performing it.
Would that we could speak freely of my Ursine friend. Alas,
It is not very heavy. A wooden statue of Sylvanus, the Oak Father, god of nature and its impartial fairness. Those near the idol seem to better understand the natural world, and it's got this ridiculously massive, glowing, shining aura, as if it was a magic item in Morrowind. We are, I feel... Yeah, not getting experience with. There's a boar. Probably can't talk to animals. And a lady. Let's talk to her. Apicousis. Sounds almost Greek.
Speak.
What were you saying to that bird?
The bird knows. She needs to know. You do not.
I respect that. But I did help defend this grove. I'm not your enemy. Merely curious, that's all. And I apologize if my fury is unnecessary. Aw, mate. Wasted a good roll. Could probably have done with that in a little while.
Forgive me. It is not you I fear. It is my brethren. More follow Korga every day. They are afraid, and she offers a simple solution. Eject the refugees, and we will be safe.
This feels like this situation has some real-world parallels, but that it is being represented in an incredibly simplified manner. In this situation, so here's the thing, what we do. We separate the real-world parallel from this situation, because we can look at it and go, there's a lesson to be learned here, but we can also say, okay, this situation is different. Some of the facts are different. You know, it's not as if the druids have been putting all of the tieflings up in expensive hotels while their own druids go homeless on the streets, you know. And it's not as if more and more tieflings are arriving here every day to feed evil international money laundering cartels cash. So the situation isn't exactly the same. Is she wrong? It sounds like she has to be stopped. That's a bit extreme, isn't it? She hasn't offered an opinion, so I'm not going to call this out either way. You still haven't told me what you were doing with that bird.
It searches for news of Master Halsin. Only he can set this right. If he is gone, well, pray that he is not.
In that case, I hope he can be found. I hear the ritual can protect the grove. Are you helping to make preparations for ritual?
I would prefer not to. But if Master Halsin does not return, Korga will give the order, and my voice will not matter.
I see. I'll leave you to it then. Let's not draw undue attention to you so others don't notice that you're not helping out that much. Your reluctance has been noted. You got a nice array of things here. Some candles. It's not dark enough to let the candle there just yet. This animal is circling around on the spot rather intently. And here we have a bear slumbering, enjoying a nice long rest as they are wont. Apparently, oh, there's a lever there that the bear is resting up against. There we go. I want it highlighted. Yeah, there we go. I presume I shouldn't... If I pull this lever, like sneak up on the bear, pull that lever, if this platform begins to rise, that thing will awake. And it would be wise for me to not be within arm's reach of the lever when it does. I don't think that's a particular... Some wheat. Okay. A little bird. A little brightly coloured bird. Hello, bird. You haven't flown away yet in shock and horror. Come on. It's getting too difficult to target. There we go. If I were a druid, I might be able to speak to the bird and learn more of it. For now, though, I think it's time to head in to this inner sanctuary.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Have you lost your senses, Koga? Release her.
She stole the idol of Sylvanas.
Okay, we've got a point where we could climb up here.
We will imprison the thief under guard of my serpent.
And a situation that appears to be getting out of hand.
Let the devil be an example. We will tolerate outlanders no longer. The grove will be made safe.
Please. I'm sorry.
This is madness, Koga. She's just a...
A what, Wrath? A thief? A poison? A threat? I will imprison the devil. And I will cast out every stranger.
Poison is a very strong word to use. Thief may be justifiable. What did she actually do? What kind of crime is she being accused of here?
Girl? You mean parasite?
She eats our food, drinks our water, then steals our most holy idol in thanks.
Wrath, lock her up. She remains here until the rite is complete. And keep still, devil. Tila is restless.
Come, Koga. We took back the idol. Surely...
Do it.
Whoa, Tila, when did He-Man get involved? Okay. Interesting. D20 plus 4. Oh, is this... We know the modifiers, we don't know the difficulty. Release her. I'll see that she stays out of trouble. Oh, this used to be like a difficulty 17 or something in early access. It was insane. Well, obviously, I could do with a bit of help here. I want to make this extra convincing. So, 5 to 8 on this. In theory, I need to roll a 4 to 7. Let's see how I do. Oh, shit. Roll a 2, please. Oh, that's good enough. There we go.
Very well. She may go. Break your word, and my serpent shall feed. Sif, Tila to me! Out, thief. My grace has its limits.
It hurts.
Thank you, Koga. Master Halsin...
Halsin isn't here. Keep his name off your tongue, lest Tila pierce it.
What happened to you, milady? Oh, frightened. Because of the wolf.
I know that look.
You're wondering why I was in pain before. Let's just clear the air about that now. It's just an old wound that hurts me from time to time. Nothing to be concerned about. It's nothing to do with the tadpoles, at least, in case your imagination is in danger of getting away from you. It's just something I have to live with.
It appears to be very precisely placed, as if it's more ritualistic than accidental. That makes it less likely to be a wound, but it appears to be intentionally inflicted. How badly does it hurt?
Quite a lot, if I'm being honest. But it always passes quickly, so I can manage.
Does it have something to do with being on holy ground? You unholy wench. Are you sure it's not connected to the tadpoles?
Positive. You can trust me on that.
Very well then. I'll just leave it at that for now, because this fellow wants to speak as well.
Grove law seriously.
By letting that child escape without consequence. We might as well have lain on the ground and
That woman has more venom in her heart than a snake in its fangs. But at least the child is safe. What is youth if not a time to be forgiven for one's transgressions?
And lead us not into temptation. No, it's and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. He said, I want to get the dialogue history here for a moment. He pronounced the A, or almost like her. So the line sounded more like, that woman has more venom in her heart than her snake in its fangs. Which I found amusing. Especially as I think I imagined it that way, I think, when I heard it previously. She's just standing there with this sort of half-smile, flat facial expression there. Bemused. Putting a child on display like that was monstrous. I'm glad we intervened. No, the child did deserve some form of punishment. Forgiveness means nothing if she doesn't learn from her mistakes. Are we talking of Korga or the child? Sounds like you've got something to confess. Eh?
Ha! And you don't? You're wholly without vice or sin, or the occasional lapse in judgment?
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
No. You don't strike me as quite that boring.
We'll see. Now, listen, apparently you wanted to see me. Who is right? Hello.
Go on. Say it. You think I'm a monster?
You already said that, so I don't have to. Only a monster would threaten a child. I don't know that. I've encountered plenty of instances of children being threatened by other children. Maybe I would threaten to tickle a child. Who knows? You're protecting your own. Sometimes cruelty is required. Honestly, I just wanted to... No.
First you urge grace, then you speak truth. You surprised me twice over. A shame the grace period ends. The Viper's fangs have been bared. She must guard her brood. No matter. I took back the idol of Sylvanus, and the rite is resumed. We will seal the grove, free from harm, free of intruders.
This rite must be born of powerful magic.
The rite of thorns. It is the Tree Father's gift that none come to harm. When we speak the final prayer, the great vine will sprout forth. The grove will be cloaked in bramble and thorn. No one enters, no one leaves. Sanctuary. None of this can happen while outlanders infect us. Sylvanus demands that we choke them out.
Now come now, that's not exactly how Sanctuary works. People can leave Sanctuary without difficulty, if they feel safe enough to do so. I came on Zevlor's behalf. His people could perish if you force them out.
And mine perish if he stays. You showed great mettle at the gate. The mettle of a skilled sword for hire. I want you to provide your services to Zevlor. Offer to guide the Outlanders out of the grove. I'm sure they'll reward you well. They're to be gone before final prayer. If they are not, the Viper must strike.
Well, I'm glad you didn't ask me to strong-arm them into leaving. Then it seems I'd best speak to Zevlor. Attack? That's a bit of an overreaction to this woman, isn't it?
You will do more than speak. This tale
No, I
ends
won't,
but one
lady.
way. With the Outlander rot cleansed, and the grove forever shrouded.
I will do as I wish, not as you say. Let's ask these other druids how they feel about the situation.
You did well to speak up for the girl. That snake is fickle. A tragedy prevented.
Rath, with a TH, R-A-T-H, was the name of one of the example characters in the 2nd edition Player's Handbook. He was a dwarven fighter. That Korga seems dangerous, and if I hadn't spoken up, what would have happened then?
Nothing befitting a child. Nothing befitting any of our world's creatures. We've let a snake replace our leader. She will see the tieflings driven out, or worse.
How did Korga take over the whole... Look, that's Karga. There's no O in it, or R. How did Korga take over the whole grove?
She is first druid in Halsin's absence. With him caught or dared by goblins, none may gainsay. But more will die if her ritual is finished. I doubt those exiled by the right will survive long outside.
If no one's looking for Halsin, I could do it.
Would you? I would give anything to see Halsin return home.
In that case, he must be a popular leader. This is where he belongs. I need a more solid offer than ever. No. No need to worry, I'll find him. Massive overconfidence here. But like Gale said, she has her weaknesses and makes the occasional lapse of judgment.
Sylvanus' blessing upon you, and my gratitude as well. Halsin is an elf with the presence of a bear. He left west with the adventurers. You won't mistake the first druid for anyone else.
So there's already 3 bears here.
Stay close.
Does that mean we're Goldilocks? In that case, we need to break the chairs, eat the porridge, sleep in the beds.
Please leave. Our hospitality has limits, and they were crossed long ago.
I'm sorry, Mr. Nasal Voice, Nose Man person. Didn't mean to cause you any discomfort.
What will the tieflings want next? Letting the Hellchild go was a mistake.
Was it now? Well, at least we know what you think on the matter. We probably shouldn't enter this chamber of the bear. Bear's face on the wall chamber. Look, I'm calling it now, alright? The stag on the flag, which is clipping with the flagpole. Oddly. Same banner here. I have business here, I shall enter. And there's a strange blue glow here on this statue. That's impressive.
You, didn't they?
Does that hurt?
Oh, another Irish accent. Not as strong as the other one.
I see you. Just give me a moment.
Is there anything I can do to help? With these massive iron gauntlets on my hands.
A moment. This medicament. There. It's up to her now. Life or death. Now, what was it you needed?
Well, I'm looking for someone called Nettie.
You found her, but I still don't know what she can do for you.
Well, do you know anything about creatures called mindflayers?
Why are you asking?
There's no good way of putting this. I've got this kind of tadpole in my head.
A tadpole? A mindflayer tadpole?
Yes, and it's a miracle I managed to escape, to be honest. You know about that? Just like everyone else I've met since I got here. Despite the fact that mindflayers are extremely rare monsters that live far underground and most people don't even know they exist. You know, like the drow. Fuck R.A. Salvatore and his bullshit propaganda. Drow are supposed to be in the very rare monster category, which is supposed to represent 2% of monster encounters, and therefore should be extremely rare to encounter, because they are not the only thing in the very rare category, so they should be extremely rare in terms of frequency, not hundreds of them appearing to attack some shit nowhere village for no reason. You know of them? Can you help me? Whatever kinds of it. No, just...
I'll do what I can. Come, follow me. I might be able to help.
There was a slight
We need to be
hesitation
quick.
there, as if she believed
This
she
way.
might not. Master Halsin may be able to help. She is his apprentice, or less experienced in such matters. Perhaps her confidence is lacking. And that lack of confidence could be entirely justified due to a lack of
This one
experience.
had the same problem as you. Attacked us in the woods together with some goblins. Tadpole crawled out of his head soon after.
The drow and I have the same kind of... That was supposed to be drow? That was nowhere near the pint of Guinness look that drow go for. Hoping for a less grave cure. Is everyone being captured by mind flayers these days? I didn't think it was a common experience.
Rather too common as of late. At least that's what Master Halsin suspected. I pity you got me instead of him. He understands these things. Studied them. Still, we have options. All right. Let's see what we can do.
What is that plant? Will it help?
She shifts uneasily, hesitating. Something's off.
It might. But first things first. Tell me about your symptoms. Have you noticed anything strange happening?
It might. It might? What might? That's a badly written sentence. Why don't you Oh, the plant might help. I see.
I'm telling you everything you need to know. Believe me on that. I want to help you, but I can't unless you work with me. So, has anything unusual happened to you?
I sense she's not going to like the answer. I can merge my mind with anyone else that's infected, but I can't control it. It just happens sometimes. I fell from a ship in the sky, but something caught me. It saved my life. An intellect devourer spoke to me as if I were one of its own. No, nothing strange. I just want the thing. I want to get it out. Of all of these, this is probably the least damning. This makes me feel almost as defensive as her. So yeah, no, I fell from a ship and something saved me.
Protected from on high. Sounds like the drow. Master Halsin said he was tougher than he had any right to be. How'd you pick up the parasite? Halsin was desperate to find where all this was happening.
Right, you see that great big crashed spaceship down on the beach? It was on... Yeah, it was on that. I was kidnapped and infected, and then the vessel came careening down towards the ground. Yeah, that was partially Lae'zel's fault, but hey, we're not blaming her, alright? She's just angry and aggressive and got, like, childish temper tantrums. Actually, she hasn't explicitly destroyed anything that wasn't an enemy yet, but she has a habit of making enemies. Anyway, I digress.
A mindflayer ship? But Master Halsin was sure. Look, you've been straight with me,
What was that
so I'll be
sound?
straight with you. You're dangerous. If you transform here, we're all dead. But you seem like a good soul. You deserve a chance to save yourself. This is a vial of wyvern poison. Swear to me, you'll swallow it if you feel any symptoms.
I mean, my teeth haven't started falling out yet to make space for tentacles emerging from my mouth. My hair hasn't fallen out. My fingernails and toenails are still there. I thought you could cure me. What about that branch of yours?
The thorn? Coated in a fatal toxin. It was a last resort, in case I couldn't trust you. I don't have a cure. Only a way out. I'm sorry for misleading you, but I had to be sure you weren't a threat before I told you everything. Now, do I have your word or not?
I'm sorry you were only offering me a way out of this situation. Before you and my goddess, I swear it.
I hope it doesn't come to that, but thank you. Here. You know, I've spent my life treating folk and never once saw a mind flayer infection. Then suddenly, there's dozens of you. Maybe more. Master Halsin and I were tracking them, studying them, trying to figure out what the hells was going on. Because you should all be changing. There should be a small army of mind flayers out there. But you're not. Weird powers aside, you seem perfectly normal.
Indeed, the process should take about a week. But our girlie here doesn't know that much about that. Lae'zel knows that, but hasn't really told us much about it yet. What do you mean we should be changing?
Mind flayers reproduce by infecting someone with their parasite. 7 gruesome days later, the victim transforms and a new mind flayer is born. The thing in your skull, though, it's different to anything in our records. It's one of their worms for sure. But this one gives you powers, telepathic connections. And it doesn't turn you into one of them. Not yet, anyhow.
That's good news, right? It gives us more time to try and come up with a solution to the situation.
Could be, but there's a lot we don't know. Infected, folks like you, have been converging on an old temple of Selûne, and I've no idea why. When Master Halsin heard the adventurers were heading that way, he saw a chance to get answers, joined on the spot. Whatever he found there, he didn't make it back.
Sounds like I should go to this temple. Do you think he's still alive?
I think so. I hope so. I've sent birds to find him, but they can't get close without goblins trying to shoot them down. You, though, you're one of them. Technically speaking, I mean. They won't kill someone carrying their parasite. If you can find Halsin and get him out of there, we can discover what he learned. And perhaps he can save your life.
Flap like cloth there.
How's that sound?
This is flapping in too much of a breeze. This is metal. Metal's heavy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mail can flap like that if you're running or walking particularly briskly, but it does have a certain weight to it that is being ignored here. Sounds like you're making a lot of assumptions that could kill me, but are you sure he can cure me?
I can't make any promises. This is like nothing we've seen before, but I know this for sure. Master Halsin is the only one close to understanding these things. He's your best bet to survive. Otherwise, that vial's your only option.
Well, I'd better go and try and find Halsin then.
Thank you. It would mean everything to the Grove. To me. I wish I could tell you more, but only those adventurers know what happened out there. All I can say for sure is they all went to the old temple of Selûne, and Master Halsin didn't make it back. Good luck out there. And if things start to go bad, remember the vial. Remember your oath.
Oh yes, Aradin's adventures. So, I know what the sound was now. She locked the door and then unlocked it again when she was willing to let me leave.
To keep it that way. Better a quick draft than ceremorphosis, nonetheless.
Oh, one of us
There's
leveled.
something in that vessel. Take a closer look.
Only one? Well then. Why does she have a different experience total to the rest of us, given that even party members who are not in the party are given a share of experience? I think we were supposed to get slightly less experience before finding her. So, subclass Battlemaster. Choices pending. 8 hit points, including 2 for Constitution, so 6 on a D10. This is a fixed number. This is living campaign game stuff, where you take one, you take the die size, divide it by half, add 1. So like 7 for a D12, 6 for a D10, 3 for a D4, Subclass features superiority dice. Right, so race isn't... Now, the Githyanki are traditionally fighter magic users, right? They're warriors who will cast a few spells to aid them in battle. Subclass Battlemaster. We have 2 other options. Battlemasters are paragons of tactical superiority, combining combat maneuvers, and they spelt maneuvers correctly instead of the American way, woohoo! And experience in the battlefield to dominate every fight. The Battlemaster gets superiority dice, which are d8s, that are spent as a resource. They're not always rolled. You can fuel your Battlemaster maneuvers and they're expended upon use. You regain expended superiority dice after a short or long rest. Again, fighters replenish their resources more readily than spellcasters. Eldritch Knights study magic to supplement their weaponry, allowing them to overcome resistance from the toughest foes. You know what? There might be foes who are particularly vulnerable to, resistant to damage, so spells might be useful. And this would be the traditional choice to take for a Githyanki. Is she traditional, though? She does seem very much of her culture. Young, brash, arrogant. Probably got a pretty short lifespan. Not natural lifespan, just she probably ain't going to live that long because she keeps attacking things and being aggressive. Champion. You approach the complex problems posed by combat with one distinctly effective solution. you hit those problems really quite hard. Improved critical hit, so the number you need to roll to score a critical hit while attacking is reduced by 1. This effect can stack. What? Will it just stack with this class going forwards, or what? And what are these? Character features, attack of opportunity. Great. Are these going to change? Martial prodigy. A lot of proficiencies that she gets already for being a fighter. And improved critical hit. I think granting proficiencies to races wasn't the best way to balance them out. I'm going to go with the traditional approach here. So what do we get? Level 1 spell slots, 2 level 1 spell slots, and weapon bond. Ritually bind the weapon in your main hand. That weapon can't be knocked out of your hand, and it automatically returns to you when thrown. Can I throw a two-handed sword? Nah, steady on. I've watched the movie Lady Hawk, right? So we know that fists are for punching, crossbow bolts are for pulling out of your own leg and stabbing someone in the gut with, two-handed swords are for throwing, short swords, really short swords, like half the length of your arm, are for using two-handed. Horseshoes are for throwing a handful in someone's face. Saloon doors are for throwing people through. It had proper rough physical violence and was actually the most realistic violence in a fantasy film for about 15-20 years, actually. After Lady Hawk and Conan the Barbarian, and yes, I'm including Conan the Destroyer, after Lady Hawk and Conan the Barbarian, combat was seriously toned down in fantasy movies, and it was often, he won't die until I stab him gently with the end of my sword. Otherwise we'll just kind of block each other a lot. Yes, I've watched First Night, regrettably. It's a shame Sean Connery made that film watchable, but otherwise it was tragically bad. Right, so 2 cantrips. And let's approach these by asking what kind of spells would someone who likes killing people with weapons like. And I'm still so glad they fixed this piece of hair here. In early access, these strands of hair in front of the ear on this side of her face did not attach to her head and were growing out of the air around here in front of her ear. It was very annoying. She does appear oddly calm in this, and I do wish she had her trailer face with the more defined cheekbones and less of an extreme jaw angle. This ends up looking like she was smacked in the face with a shovel or something, repeatedly. She also ends up looking a bit like a pug. Not a particularly clever one either. Let's see. So, acid splash. Just damage. I don't know if it'll create a surface. Bony chill. 60-foot range. Prevents the target from healing until your next turn. An undead target receives disadvantage on attack rolls. That has interesting utility. Firebolt. It's just pure fire. D10 for a cantrip is insane, though. Poison spray. Yeah, already 12 for that matter, but the poison will do less to undead. I like the fact they actually put the dice in there, in fancy funky colours. Ray of Frost. I think that would create an icy surface, which could cause targets to slip. It also reduces their movement speed so they can't get away. Shocking Grasp. D8 damage, advantage on creatures wearing metal armour. But couldn't she just hit them with her sword? I'm not sure that touch attacks exist in 5th edition. Advantage would kind of make up for that a bit though. So touch attack being, yeah, forget the armour, I'm just trying to touch you. You know, like... Blade Ward. She'd like that. Friends. We've met this woman. We've had social interactions with her. Friendship does not appear to be something she desires. She's from a warrior culture, but more importantly, she doesn't seem to appreciate social interactions. She appreciates physical force and authority. And are her eyebrows literally growing backwards? They look like the hairs are actually going that way towards the nose. If so, that would be an interesting alien feature that would make her race feel different, like eyebrows literally growing the wrong way. But no, they do have the tips here, and so it could just be a trick of the camera. Right, dancing lights, something she might appreciate. Light spell, an object, mage hand, she can already do that as a racial feature. Minor illusion. Illusion doesn't seem like her style. Or True Strike. Well, tell you what, why don't we ditch Bone Chill and take Blade Ward and True Strike. There we go. Now, some actual spells. This is not the full list of spells available to a wizard, so they have a more restricted functionality. So Burning Hands, it's a cone, set fire stuff in front of her. She would appreciate the destructive nature of this spell. Chromatic Orb. Hurl a sphere that deals 3d8 thunder damage and possibly creates a surface on impact. Alternatively, choose a different kind of damage. Yes, Chromatic Orb, there's different colours do different damage, do different things. Magic Missile, most importantly, can be split between multiple targets, which I think she would appreciate. She'd appreciate the utility between being able to hurt lots of foes, so they'd all be impressed by her power and how amazing and impressive she is at being able to hurt all of them at once, even if it's a fairly small amount of damage. Or pour it all into one target for significantly more damage. Mage Armor, great if you're not wearing armor. Guess what? She's wearing armor. Protection from evil and good. Protect an ally, or herself. I'm sorry, but this should just be protection from evil or protection from good. It shouldn't be protection from evil and good. That makes her a terrible spell name, and it makes it incredibly weirdly agnostic. It kind of similar to what Pathfinder did to clerics in 2nd edition with their, like, channeling positive and negative energy, whichever they feel like at the time, and may their gods and goddesses judge them for it. In other words, for GM, shield. When you're about to be hit by an enemy, increase your armor class by 5. You take no damage from magic missile. Duration is until long rest. That's actually... Oh no, but it's like a reaction. It's a spell that's like a reaction, I see. In which case, would I get the option to put it on the choose list rather than just have it automatically happen? Because if I was going up against a wizard with loads of magic missiles and he had loads of minions, like a load of goblins or something, and I cast my shield spell and then one of the goblins hit me and the shield is automatically gone before I get a chance to choose whether to allow that hit to go through or not, and then I get magic missile to the face for a full, 3d4 plus 3 damage, that's not so good. Witch Bolt, we've seen Gale cast that. It would be nice to have different spells in the party. Thunder Wave knocks them back. So we got a cone, multiple effects, multiple damage, and a knockback. And a shield. You know what? Celestials, Elementals, Fae, Fiends, and Undead. I don't think Mind Flayers for aberrations. She hates Mind Flayers. Okay, yeah, and we'll go with the Thunder Wave. While it would be fun to have Magic Missile, which loves for mobs you hate. Sorry, that's a Mr. Muscle joke. I'm not sure if foreigners would get that one because the adverts may not travel so well internationally. And of course replacing a muscle with missile. Anyway, that's a pun, Thunder Wave. Yeah, I'll go with that. Expanded. You add a wizard spell of your choice to your spellcasting repertoire. Great, let's do that then. one we haven't already chosen, presumably. Oh, I really want to. Perhaps they laugh at her face. This feels more like a spell Gale would cast, to be honest. It really does. Ray of Sickness, not Ray of Enfeeblement. Just does poison. If it actually weakened the target, she might be more interested. So we got that Burning Hand spell she liked. Same for the magic missiles. Charm Person. Again, she's not inclined to want to charm people, to beguile them, to make them her friends. Colour Spray. Blinding, okay. Disguise Self, again, not really her style. She's a bit more blunt than that. Expeditious Retreat, False Life. Featherfall, very useful. Find Familiar, again, not her style. She's not particularly familiar with the animals of this world. Ice Knife, Grease. Enhanced Leap, doesn't she have that already as a racial ability? I think she got that this level, didn't she? Let's go for that magic missile spell that we know she liked. And could have sworn she got it this level as a racial ability. Oh well, all good. Let's take the level up and enjoy it. Yeah, there it is, Psionic Jump. Triple a creature's jumping distance. A bit bonkers.
Have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it.
Let's not touch the drow just yet. I think it's time for us to leave this place before we threaten the druids any further with our potential transformation. There's at least 2 in this chamber, well 3 if we count Korga,
Can't slow down.
who aren't particularly pleased with our presence. Now what's this?
By claw and tooth from root to thorn, the old oak's grove to wildlings sworn. The mural depicts a ritual, but you do not recognize the deity involved.
Is it probably not just Sylvanas and lady? Jaria should feel ashamed. How does a priestess fail a religion check? You know, there are more things we could do here in the Grove, a few more things at least. But I think the time has come for us to depart. We got a druid to rescue, and places to go, monsters to kill. That's a first Baldur's Gate 1 reference. Hey, child, are you grateful we saved your life?
What's
You've
up
got
for
parents.
discussion? You ever scare me like that again, and I'll feed you to a gnoll.
Oh shit, that's serious.
I'm fine. Stop it.
Our little Hellion told us what happened. Thank you. Don't know what we'd do without her.
You'd grieve and mourn, quite probably. I'm not going to extort stuff from these people. They've got very little to give. If I apply pressure on them to give me stuff, they'll give it reluctantly, and then the thing they'll give me will be tainted with that negativity, and then I'd be stuck with that negativity that I had created. Hope to meet again under better circumstances. Hey, alright, just no more light-fingered antics, right, little Arabella?
Yeah. I mean,
No, seriously.
thank you for helping me.
Yeah, she would have died if we
Our
hadn't
job to
rescued
get us
her.
out of here safely, not yours.
It's my job too.
Arabella is safe. Her parents are grateful for your intervention. Massive giant pop-up. We've received... Why are we getting a pop-up for an item?
That girl. I don't care what Mole says. Stupid.
That felt like an MMO, getting a huge pop-up like that. So this lets us cast dancing lights. That's great. Let's put it on. Lovely. And we have some leveling to do. Gale, my main man, wizarding warrior of the mind. The mind sword is the best sword as far as he's concerned. So, he wasn't waving, he was performing an arcane gesture. So he got 6 hit points, 2 from... So, wait, wizards get a d6 hit points in 5th edition? Okay. 2 first of a spell... no, a first and a 2 second. Got it. And he can learn 2 spells of 2nd level or lower. Obviously, we want to learn the highest level spells we can, and he's specialised in evocation. What do we got? Arcane Lock. We probably just witnessed that back in the Druid's Grove. That's abjuration, that's protection, that's forcefully stopping and preventing. Blindness. Blur. Might get good use out of that. Cloud of Daggers. Conjure a cloud of spinning daggers that attack anyone inside. Do they move? Crown of Madness. Instill madness in a humanoid enemy, making them attack the creature closest to them other than you, even if it's allied. For 3 turns. Oh, that's actually pretty serious. Darkness. It's an evocation spell. Create a dark shroud that heavily obscures and blinds creatures within. Creatures cannot make ranged attacks into or out of it. Might be good for casting on enemy spellcasters or enemies with ranged weapons. Dark vision. Lets us see in the dark. Some races can see in the dark. This isn't the deeper darkness or greater darkness that would be like even blinding them. Detect thoughts. We seem to have similar abilities already, but those seem to be granted by the mind flayers. Enlarge or reduce. Oh, great spell. Lovely spell. Awesome. Make a creature larger or smaller to affect their weapon damage and strength checks and saving throws. Flaming Sphere. That's sphere, not spear. It's a ball of fire, it rolls around and burns things. Gust of Wind. Could push creatures back 17 feet, forcing them off balance. 17 feet is an incredibly odd measurement. It feels... well, it's just under 6 yards. It feels like it's 20 meters or something that's been converted from metric, which is interesting because in AD&D the spell measurements are an imperial, so why... It feels like someone didn't convert correctly, then converted back and changed the distance. Right. Hold person. Enchantment. Hold a humanoid enemy still. They can't move, act, or react. Attacks from within 3M. What a... Wait a minute. Okay, attacks from within 9 foot 10.5 inches. Incredibly specific. Are always critical hits. Now, I don't know, as an enchantment spell, that implies that you're tricking their mind into believing their body can't move. It's not actually held, so there's different ways of interpreting this spell. It could be a paralysis that, prevents the body from movement, or it could be like some kind of magical bond holding the body in stasis, so the body won't even fall if someone pushes it over, which I doubt is the way they're going to go here. But they might, just to be awkward, in which case it probably shouldn't be an enchantment spell. Invisibility. Be invisible. Knock. Unlock an object that is held shut by a mundane lock, not a magical one. Magic weapon. make a weapon better. They're receiving a +1 bonus on attack and damage rolls. This probably won't have any effect on an already magic weapon, but it's not overtly stated. Melf's acid arrow. It's an arrow of acid. It does more damage after it hits you because you've got acid on you. Shoot a green arrow that covers the target and the ground in acid. Deals 4 to 16 acid damage immediately and 2 to 8 acid damage at the end of the target's turn. For just one turn, that's incredibly short. Usually in older editions, acid arrow would last like a few rounds, possibly based on the caster's level, which made it a much more powerful spell because you'd shoot them and then they'd take damage every turn for a few turns, which would also make it harder for them to cast spells or do other things. We got Mirror Image. Gale likes this spell. I should take it just for that. Misty Step. Teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 60 feet. That's a pretty decent range. Phantasmal Force. Deal damage to a creature each turn. The type of damage changes to the last type the creature suffered. Okay, so it's repeating the damage they've already taken, essentially. Ray of Enfeeblement. There we go. That's the spell that Lae'zel might like. Scorching Ray. Hurl 3 rays of fire, each doing 2d6 fire damage. Got it. See invisibility. Hey, if something's invisible, worth seeing. Shatter. Damages all nearby creatures and objects. Creatures made of inorganic material such as stone have disadvantage on their saving throw, but still probably have a pretty good saving throw, so I mean it's doubling the chance of failure, but still. And then Web. Cover an area in thick flammable webbing that slows creatures within and possibly enwebs them, so possibly ensnares them. Let's take, I want to say Acid Arrow, and we know Gale likes Mirror Image, but I think to begin with there were a few others that stood out. Crown of Madness, we could have a lot of fun with that. Hey, we don't have an ability for our frontline fighters to taunt enemies, but if we can't cast Crown of Madness on enemies near them, it's the same effect. What else did I see that I liked the look of? Oh yes, just go for Enlarge and Melf's Acid Arrow, I think, for now. There we go. Now, the spell slots are charged and full. Wow, in that case, we better change his spell selection. So, let's take out Grease and pop in Enlarge and drop Witch Bolt and see if we can have some fun with Thunder Wave and throw in Melf's Acid Arrow. I don't like the fact spell slots are shared between different levels. I also don't like the fact that I can change spell slots without resting and still actively use them. That's a very abusable thing. Also, hey, let's do this, right? Let us recover some spell slots. One level 2 or 2 or level 1. We'll go for level 1. There we go, that's better. And we could even do it again, but we might use level 2 spell slots, so it's worth saving that.
We have to look after ourselves.
Let's look at Shadowheart.
That girl. I don't care what Mole says.
So she still has that black mark on her hand. Oh, that's interesting. Wait. So, can we get a mid? A slightly... No, so there's no intermediary step where we could view it a little more closely. The black spot on the back of her hand. It could actually be the black spot. You know, like in Treasure Island, where everyone draws a piece of paper and one has the black spot on it, and that's the one who's cast out or, you know, has to go do the incredibly deadly dangerous thing. That's interesting, because of things that tie in with her background that it could relate to. And that shadow of the mace handle looked like a long strand of hand there down the back, hair hanging loose for a moment there. You know, like these, but much more crude and clumsy looking. Right, so 7, 5 on a d8, yeah, that's right. A couple of spell slots, some trickery domain spells, which should always be prepared. And hey, let's just change our spell loadout then. So, level 2 spells, Prayer of Healing, always nice. Went in the new slot. Spiritual Weapon. Summon a floating spectral weapon that attacks your enemies alongside you. Looks like a halberd. Aid. Gives them temporary hit points. Hey now, come on. What about the proper aid where it gave you +1 to hit and damage and some temporary hit points? That's not the spell we love and know. Lesser Restoration. We could ditch... You know, Shield of Faith doesn't quite seem like her style. We could ditch Cure Wounds. We have Jaria for that. Throw in Lesser Restoration because of the poison, paralysis and blindness removal. Warding Bond. Resistance to all damage. Oh, that's really nice. That is very nice. Protection from poison. That's great. Calm Emotions. Can't be charmed, frightened, or become enraged. Yeah, cast that on enemy barbarians. What if they're already enraged? Will it remove it? Got a whole person. Silence. Nice. Enhance ability. What an incredibly bland and generic spell name. So anyway, the dark spot on her hand ties into a few things about her that I know from early access, or just general observations. It also matches these dark stones on her armour here, on the shoulders. As dark as the Dark Lake, or Black Lake. I can't remember what Gale said to her about that. And Jaria gets a level as well. Well, let's
Not as bad as it could have.
let's move on a little,
Don't waste a step.
right? How are we doing for money? Not that great, I know. I just thought I'd do a 158. Okay. Who has all those coins? Because it's not us, is it?
Indolence breeds madness.
Got a long road ahead.
That's camp supplies. That's not money. I see. Okay. Okay. We might want to consider an alternate class for Jaria. So some extra spell slots. We might want to add... Right. This advanced feature allows you to build powerful combinations of classes at the expense of higher level class features, such as higher level spells. You can only level up one class at a time. It might be nice to add Paladin as a class for Jaria. It would appear to be in keeping with the way her personality has played out so far. However, I think it might be worth sticking with a few more sessions. Let's go back. And we'd have Oath of the Ancients, which is a sort of druidic version of Paladin. Oath of Devotion, which is a proper version of Paladin. Or Oath of Vengeance, which is kind of like a ranger version of Paladin. I think I've made my point clear. Let's cancel this, though, and stick with Cleric for now. Maybe, if you're watching, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the possibility of Jaria changing class. Right, let's change our spell selection somewhat. We don't need Bane, which is the opposite of Bless. Command might be useful. We do not need inflict wounds. We're not Shadowheart. We don't even have bless prepared. Because it's always prepared, right? So protection from poison, a warding bond, both good. Calm emotions, also good. Prayer of healing, definitely get that down, especially with our add 2 points of healing. 2+ for spell's level, so that would be 4 points. That makes it an incredibly potent spell. I want to do spirit weapon. Okay, so let's go protection from poison, warding bond, and prayer of healing for no. Okay. Calm emotions and prayer of healing. There we go. Excellent. I mean, did the 5th edition designers believe players were too simple-minded to be able to keep different level spell slots separate? It feels like dumbing down and oversimplification. Unnecessary simplification, if you will. I've got a pearl here, right? It's not some kind of ingredient. Oh, speaking of ingredients, by the way, there's a button here that says extract all ingredients. Now, what could that mean? Rogue's salts of rogue's morsel, any suspension. Coatings? No, grenades? Nope, nothing there. Let's do it and see what happens. Okay, so now we have an essences option. Acorn truffle. So acorn truffle, 3 acorn truffles makes essence of acorn truffle. What can we make with essence of acorn truffle? Apparently a potion of animal speaking. I could buy some salt and then make this potion and talk to one of the animals here. Maybe even sell it. Given that it's an acorn truffle, it might only be for this one thing. I'm not sure there's anything else we can make with that. Okay. Anyway. Hello again, little Potter.
Need anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to see what you got.
Of course. But please, remember, you're not the only one in need.
I won't take more than I need. Could I ask 22 instead of 24 to... You still don't like me that much. I mean, look at that attitude, the way he tilts his head. There are incredibly precious, valuable things here that I cannot afford. However, dragon egg mushroom, make an elixir of fire resistance, bone cap, can make a basic poison. You know, that's a reasonably affordable helmet. Onion soup, sure. Rogue's morsel. Hey, we can make healing potions of this? Yeah. Let's have both. Morsel, not morel. Morel being a kind of mushroom. Now. Balsam. Potions are greater healing. That is expensive balsam. Of course, balsam makes balsamic vinegar, but it is balsam, not balsam or balsam or something. That's incredibly expensive. As is that. Ooh. I want to... Just one. I want to experiment with this. See if they are single use or not.
Sylvanus be with you.
Absolutely. Now, let's head on out of the grove. And we might want to go back to camp. We don't want to rest too often, but we're running very low on spell slots here.
Calm yourself. They're survivors, not soldiers.
Exactly, Lae'zel.
I failed to see the distinction.
You would. Is that looted? Yes. I should check a few of these slightly further away. Oh, you know what?
I'll be keeping an eye on you. Understand?
If I choose to kill you, you will not even see it.
What? Steady on, girls. Man, I'm really tempted to do a single player playthrough and play one of these two and see if I can get them to kiss and make up and be friends. Just because they're so full of venom and hatred towards each other that it feels like it would be an incredibly amusing achievement to try and make. You know, just a challenge.
Aren't you worried your kind will punish you for consorting with us?
My name is Lae'zel Choki, and my kin will understand my need for servants. They will help you, but only if I ask.
You think we're your servants? Ego problem! And then some. Right. Let us dance into the fire. Anyone get the reference? Oh, mate, don't jump in the fire. Well, at least everyone else got through safely. No? Come on. View to a Kill. James Bond theme song, right? Dance into the fire. I said it. Sorry, I can't sing that high. I have bollocks. And apparently mine are big enough and healthy enough, but I have to sing lower. Dance into the fire. You know, something like that would make more sense. Let's, yeah, she's also down 3 level 2 spell slots. Lae'zel, we have a task for you. Oh, this is stupid. We can abuse this. Hang on. Get down there. It doesn't... You're not Lae'zel.
Like its will be done.
Oh, she's got to be smarting that I mistook her enemy for her. Let's abuse that anger and change our spell selection and explain to her that we would like her to move a bloody great big rock. Now, where it's there. Got it. Right. Dear Lae'zel, we would like you to be really, really extra strong and shift that bloody great big rock. And apparently moo like a cow. And she's like, Chuck, it was easy. A child could have done it. And we're like, yeah, you are a child. We know. A harper's notebook. A ruby. Harper's map. Potion of speed, gold, and an onyx. I care little of these things. The one called Jaria can take them. They matter not. What about the gems? Baubles for peasants. Yeah, she's like, take all this stuff, I'm not interested. Magic potion of speed, however, oh yeah, she's all in on that.
Still alive, so that's progress.
So, a tattered collection of reports held together with a moon and harp seal. There is frequent mention of sacrilegious activity among a local Selûnite sect. This stained, ragged map has passed through countless hands. A little harp marks an area called Moonrise Towers with a small inky crescent sketched in the nearby forest. Below the crescent is a more recent scrawl, cache. So the Harpers have stashed some treasure near something called Moonlight Towers. It's... what's this? Hidden cache. So Moonlight Towers are near here? Well, or do they mean like far to the south? Anyway, let's head back up. And then fix that spell selection. Come on. There we go. And then we should probably go back to camp and end the day. Spell selection notwithstanding. I imagine one or more of our companions may wish to speak to us as well. Actually, it's nice that our return for treasure brought us back down here because we haven't explored these overgrown ruins yet. So, I could do this in camp. I'm not going to do this in camp. There we go. Now let's go camp. Yeah, absolutely. What prey is this? Ah, just... oh, multiple. Okay. Don't worry, Astarion, we will invite you back into the party very shortly. And you'll get to enjoy your level. Who's this over here? Someone who doesn't desperately want to speak to us. And that might be okay. Let me guess, she's growing impatient. We haven't found her creche yet. Or transformed.
A fine evening, don't you think? The moonlight shines warmly on us. The breeze caresses our faces. Hideous. All of it. Would that I were doing battle up there, among the tears.
You don't like weather? By tears, I presume she means stars. What do you mean by the tears?
Look above. Watch the moon cross the sky. The tears follow behind it. Rocky bodies tumbling through the sea of night. One of them is my creche. Clear.
You're so far away from home. It must be quite a shock to leave the creche behind and arrive here.
Do you think me so sheltered? My entire clutch battled beholders deep within the eye of the sky. We infiltrated an Yogi spelljammer and laid waste to its crew. The tears span Toral's sky, Venisk. There is more to this realm than this grassy pebble. But enough of this. You are wasting your resting time. Come dawn, we resume our search for a creche.
Her audio level drops significantly on that line, as if it was recorded in a separate session. That feels wrong. I like the way she's sharpening her sword there on the grindstone. And it's also turning. Her foot isn't on the pedal though, so I'm not sure how it's turning. Is there a pedal on the side here? There don't appear to be. A closer look. I can't see the foot pedal to turn it. It's not electrical, obviously. What an interesting conversation. I don't believe I ever had that conversation with her in early access before. Maybe she's... I mean, she still seems to hate me. Definitely doesn't agree with me. I don't like this approval rating. It feels entirely too linear. The developers have suggested that companion approval is significantly more flexible and fluid. Yeah, let's... that dagger's going to someone else. Not her. They've suggested that the approval is, you know, and romance is more than just a binary I like you or I dislike you thing. I don't like the fact that it appears to be still very... Maybe the approval is separate, right?
You know, I've been thinking, reflecting on what tomorrow might bring. When we find the druid, will he know how to bring the worm under control? Will this little adventure of ours be over?
It doesn't have to be. We can still travel together. All of us. If we want to.
Good. I don't want you to run off just yet. You're quite the ally after all. Traversing Avernus, surviving the crash, surviving everything that's followed. I'm not easily impressed by people, but you're stronger than I gave you credit for.
You're flattering me, or you're really easily impressed by people. I thought you didn't like me. What? Yeah, well, I could, like, roll with the ego flattery. I have many talents. That's... I'm not sure entirely what I mean by that line, but I'm just trying to survive like you are, you know.
Yes. We're more similar than I thought.
Are you alright?
Oh, I was leagues away. I just need to...
Go and have a wank?
Get some air. Clear my head. I'll see you later, I'm sure. Sleep tight.
Yeah, calm down, man. I barely know you.
Should mind my step.
Like Johnny from the folk song, you know. Although I think that's more American mugwort. We can just pick this and... Okay, hello. Oh, this might be about your hand. Wait, what are these exclamation marks? Are they showing me I've got new things? I'm not sure. Look, what do I need to mouse over? What? Is that it? Good, you happy now, game? Good, now stop giving me annoying notifications.
The leader of the pack comes to chat. What's on your mind? You must be pleased to have a clear path forward. The sooner we find the druid house in, the better. I can't wait to get rid of this thing in my head.
There's no need to be so derisive and dismissive. What? We do live a dangerous life, but that's an odd thing to bring up. How are you feeling? She doesn't like personal. What will be next for you once this is all over?
Head to Baldur's Gate. Someone's waiting for me.
Uh-huh. That's probably more than she already wanted to say, but I'll pry a little. Who could that be then?
Let a girl have some secrets. Was there anything else?
I could pry. I could even have her cast guidance on me when I pry, although that's pretty unethical. And she'd pretty much know that I'd had her cast guidance. How are you feeling?
The same. These parasites are proving suspiciously benign. But suppose I turn. What would you do?
Well... maybe I could leave you tied up while I hunted for a cure. Lady, if she's turned into a mind flayer, there is no cure. It's too late already. Don't like hypothetical questions. If you turned into a monster, run away. Well, in that case, we'd all have to run away. If you turned into a brutal, evil, mind-destroying, brain-melting, soul-sucking creature, I'd have to stop you before you could do any damage to the world. I'm afraid. I think Jaria would hesitate, but she likes to imagine she would not.
Wise. Though, I hope you'd miss me after I'm gone. I think I would if the positions were reversed. But you're right. If we're to make it through all this, there can be no room for hesitation. You're doing well. It's a beautiful night. I think I'll stay up to enjoy it while I still can. Rest well.
To answer your implied question, lady, I would miss you, but not the monster you would become. The thing that had replaced you. You would essentially already be dead. And it would just be a parasite wearing your husk of a body. Let's leave Gale behind for a little and take Astarion out tomorrow.
What's on your mind?
Could you stay in camp for a while?
I question the wisdom of that decision, but so be it.
Is that supposed to be velvet? Kind of like a crushed velvet. It might be. Yeah, look, I have my reasons.
I'll be here in the meantime, idling away the hours.
Exactly. Now, a strange bloke who flattered me. Don't take this the wrong way, but hey, could you, like, come out with us again for a bit?
Need something?
Yeah, look. Come with us, and don't sneer like that, so. It's unbecoming.
Darling, I thought you'd never ask.
Oh, now he's in a good mood.
Lead on.
Let's all go get some kip. But first, he's going to level. Also, he's got thieves' tools. Just like her. No trap disarm kit. Do we have... We've got some rope. And those trap disarming kits are very expensive. So thieves' tools... Able to open locks. No locks and traps, just locks? Wow, that's weird. Okay. Let's give him something to smile about. And I said in a previous episode I should check what he's wearing to see if we can get him some better protective equipment. Okay, let's see what he's got available. So, thief, be a better thief. Assassin, sneaky stabby stab stab. Arcane trickster. Given these healed puncture wounds on his neck, well, not very healed puncture wounds on his neck, and his memories of stalking through the streets, hunting people, I'm going to go ahead and say Arcane Trickster is highly appropriate. Now then, let's take Bone Chill. He's cold and pale, so highly appropriate. Minor Illusion. Sure. Charm Person. You know what? He tries to be charming. It could work on a lot of people. Might even work on me. And Sleep. Sure. And then, on top of that, we can get a Fog Cloud. Yeah. That could work. Let's all go sleep. Sleep perchance to dream.
Looking ahead.
Right, grub. Nosh. Let's avoid using these fancy things just yet. Can we... Oh, what's this? That's the onion soup we bought. Excellent. And some gruel. Better use that before it gets even colder. A few fish. A fish without its head. Apple. And we're looking for 10 more. 4, 8, 10. 3. 6. Ah. So carrots, some coffee, disgusting stuff. I'm not going to drink it. And another bloody fish. There we go. Excellent. Let's get some decent rest. Astarian's sneaking off. Where is he prowling? What secret acts is he about to perpetuate in the dark of night? Well, we don't know. Let's head on back out to our adventure. And while it is entirely true that adventure awaits us, I believe it will await in the very next episode, because I think I've played for quite a long time here. And now's a good point to stop. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the very next one. I'm going to say goodbye for now though, and see you all later. Cheerio everyone!